Okay, so this course name is Quality Assurance Course, which consists of two different major two different major areas. One is manual testing and other one is automation testing. Okay, so in general, testing is a term where we can define it as it's a verification and validation of the product based upon provided requirements. Okay, so due to current project requirements in the market, we have designed a course which will cover manual testing and automation testing. Guys, please remember these two courses or this kind of a stream will come under major area of functional testing. Functional testing means any of the application where customer, it might be a customer application or any business process, we will focus on the functionality of the application. Okay, so what is manual testing? How we are going to do manual testing in a particular project? Manual testing means, suppose I have a simple application called Gmail. If you wanted to test or if somebody have to verify that application, why we have to verify? Because it has to be there, it has to be provided to the customer or end users who wanted to send an emails. Okay, so in this particular process, a manual tester will open the application based out of process document which has been specified related to the application. Based on that, will test one by one. So in this process, whatever document says, whatever requirement explains you, we will validate the same. So, but this process will be done through documented test cases, and each and every step result can be stored. As these steps are completely manual, so this particular process or this particular verification and validation, we can call it as manual testing. When you do a manual testing, there might be a chance of repetitive tasks, redundant tasks, or continuous testing, or continuous enhancements have been added to the existing application. To handle all these kind of issues, there is one more type of testing, or the most improvisation in testing is called automation testing. Automation testing means, as the name itself is specifying, that you are automating one particular process. You are automating one particular process. Okay, so here the automation can be done by external tools, like it might be a quick test professional, which is HP tool. It might be a selenium tool. It might be a test complete. Different company has created different tools. So according to application priority and flexibility and compatibility, we'll use a specific application, specific tool. Okay, so automation test, when you wanted to do automation testing, you need a specific tool, but when you wanted to do manual testing, you don't need any specific tools here. Okay, so to pursue your career in testing, at least you should know the manual testing process and at least two automation tools. If you have an idea, you can elaborate it and you can able to perform your career in testing well here. Okay, so that is a reason whoever joined my training, first I'll explain the manual testing. I'll help them to habit share the testing processes. Then I will start testing automation testing with QTP tool. QTP have another name is also there, that is UFT, Unified Functional Testing Tool. UFT, Unified Functional Testing Tool. This is an advanced name for QTP because after 10th version the name has been modified. So generally, if you wanted to be expertise in this particular tool, you should know the supported scripting language. Okay, so that scripting language is Visual Basic Scripting. So first, after completion of manual testing, I will train you on VB scripting. Once you are comfortable with VB scripting, we will share you the tool, that is Quick Test Professional. And then once Quick Test Professional has been shared with you, then we will going to be, the training will be go from QTP tool itself. Okay, so let's jump on to course content. So manual testing session will have total majorly 10 topics, VB scripting having remaining 4 topics, and QTP and other topics, QTP and advanced will consisting of total 30 topics. So entire this course duration is 45 hours. So generally these 45 hours can be covered in 30 days by extending the hours like 1.5 hour in a day, or extending the weekend sessions. Okay, so what is there in manual testing, and why these topics are required to improve the testing skills? If you are working in a testing project especially, you should have a overview about entire cycle of activities in that particular project. Okay, so that is the reason first I'll explain you what are the steps have been included in software development life cycle. What are the steps have been included in software development life cycle? What is software development life cycle? It it is a framework which defines you, or which specifies you activities which you can perform in development of a project. SDLC is a framework which specifies you activities you can perform in a development project. Development means there is a requirement from the customer end, like suppose I wanted to start a new company, or I wanted to start new training company. In generally, for my reference to contact me, what would be the easiest way, guys? If I wanted to market myself, what would be the easiest way I can do?
Websites.
Exactly, there should be a proper website. So as a customer, I do have one requirement, that is creation of the website. Okay, so how this website can be developed, what are the steps are there if we assume this as a project? Like that, you might have n number of customers and they have n number of business processes. According to the business area and process and requirement, software development activities will be available. As customer is investing huge amount of money in the development of a software, we have to streamline the process and we have to develop in process oriented way. Okay, so that is a reason. First of all, we should know SDLC cycle. SDLC cycle can be categorized based upon priority and customer requirements. There are n number of requirements we do have. So I will explain you what is waterfall model, what is V-shape model, what is rapid application development model, what is prototype model, incremental model, and spiral model, and agile methodologies. These are the generic examples for software development cycles and which we may use in any of the projects. Okay, next. Once we have habituated to development cycle, you are comfortable with that, then we'll jump into testing activities. What is a manual testing's life cycle? What are the best practices have been included each and every step? And then what are the different types of testing, like what is black box, what is white box, what is gray box testing, what are the different testing levels, like what are the different testing levels like unit testing, system integration testing, regression testing, and all those testing types can be specified here. Okay, after completion of testing types, I would say manual testing theory sessions have been completed. Manual session, theory session has been completed. Okay, once theory has been completed, what is next step, guys? What do we require? You don't require anything?
Active sessions, hands-on training.
Hands-on training or hands on the topic which you have learned, or I would say there is a testing creation is there, test case creation will be there. So how do you prepare those? This is sample project which you are going to work. So any particular project, the major activities like test requirement identification has to be done, test scenarios, test case preparation, test case examples, which will be in formal standard templates. We may use it and we may prepare it. So this will give you a overall idea about one project experience. After completion of this manual testing, then we are going to start Visual Basic scripting. Guys, why do we have to learn Visual Basic scripting? Any specific
I
idea?
have no, I have no idea.
As I just told you
It's
initially, VB scripting is a
QTP.
scripting language.
Oh,
Sorry, Indrani, tell me.
yeah, it's for QTP, automation
Exactly.
testing.
To learn the automation testing tool, you have to be expertise in the tool. We should require Visual Basic scripting. Okay, so that is a reason I will explain you the scripting, because you guys see somebody came from journalism, somebody came from the they don't have even any software industry experience. In this particular scenario, if I directly ask you to program something, definitely you guys will kill me, I know that. So first I'll explain you very clearly about what is scripting, how we have to write sample programs, and what exactly you required to learn QTP tool. That I'll explain you in VB scripting sessions. So generally VB scripting is the easiest language to learn and very easy to understand the things even. After completion of VB scripting training, then we will provide you the QTP tool, okay, which is 10th version in your machine. And then I'm going to explain tool training in detail, like what is how the tool going to be recording, how will you play the sessions. And again guys, here also we will automate the same tool which we have learned in manual testing. So that will explain to you that you will get an experience of one manual testing project and one automation testing with the same tool. After completion of this basics and advanced topics, then we'll go for an automation framework design, which will give you an overall idea for how the automation project framework can be prepared and what activities will be there. After completion of this, I'll explain you on high level view on quality center, what is this test management tool, and then one interview tips, one session on interview and one session on resume preparation. This would be the overall idea about quality assurance course. Any questions? Okay, let's jump on to the topic number 1, where we are going to discuss the same. So what is the first topic, guys? As per our course syllabi, first topic is software development life cycle. Okay, let's see the topic number 1 in manual testing course. Let me know once you are able to view my screen, guys. Okay, so what is software development life cycle? Software development life cycle, it is the framework which describes the activities performed at each stage of software development project. So if we wanted to start a one particular project, or you have to follow a simple cycle of activities, so this cycle of activities we can call it as SDLC. So what are all major steps have been included in software development? Currently, don't focus on waterfall model and all, just focus on left hand side 6 phases. Left hand side 6 phases. What are all those phases? First one is requirements, design, implementation, testing, installation, and support or maintenance. How many activities are there? There are 6 activities. What is this requirement analysis? Any idea, guys? No idea?
I have a question.
Hmm.
I have a question. That is there any word like STLC, means software testing lifecycle?
Yes, it is there.
Okay.
The difference between SDLC and STLC is STLC will talk about software development life cycle. What are the activities involved in developing a software?
Okay.
Testing cycle, test life cycle will talk about what exactly testing activities you can implement for a one particular project.
Okay. Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are the major analysis steps, or what are the major steps in development in one cycle? So the major steps are like, first one is requirement analysis, design, implementation, testing, installation, and support. So what are all these specific activities? So what is requirement analysis? What steps we may do here? Let's discuss about
Uh,
more clearly about requirement analysis. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, requirement analysis is like what is required for developing the project. What is the client requirement actually? What they want to develop. We have to identify the all the scenarios
Okay.
uh, to the, yeah.
Any more suggestions from your and Rajni?
Collect the requirements from the client.
Collection of requirements. Okay. Let me just give you a more clarity here. So any project, if it is a development project, okay, I'm not talking about testing project, guys. There is a difference between development and testing project, but I'm purely talking about development project. When you are involving in a development project, it requirement analysis phase here is, first of all, what is required to develop the application? What is required? Specifications, specifications, and processes, user stories, user requirements. Okay, an experienced development team which includes business analyst team and customer team, everybody involved here, and based upon priority, based upon the process which required from the customer end. So the requirements can be gathered in this particular phase. I would say analysis means, in this particular analysis phase, the requirements documents can be prepared, and what information will be there in these particular processes? It consisting of specific processes, it consisting of specific processes about the customer business, and then what exactly requirements from the customer end. Let's take an example. If customer want, see, as a customer I want one website, right? What color would be the website? What would be the design? What would be the logo? And how exactly, how many number of pages? What menus? What menu navigations? All these are requirements. that has to be there in the document. It has to explain the all these specific information. Then development team will analyze these requirements, whether all specified requirements from the customer can be prepared or not. Can be means can these be feasible to development or not. Okay, so requirement analysis phase means first we will gather the information that can be done by development team or business analyst team and customer team. Second, knowledge transfer documents can be provided. Knowledge transfer or requirement documents should be provided. Next one, after sharing knowledge transfer or requirement documents, then we have to analyze feasibility analysis and then query clarifications and then finalizing the requirements and then getting the approval. Then requirements sign off. So feasibility analysis means whether these requirements can be adopted or not. Is there any changes are required? Everything can be discussed in feasibility analysis phase. And if at all any queries with about requirement that can be clarified in that can be clarified in with the customer in this particular phase itself, and then based on this a conclusion requirements will be prepared and we will get the approval from the customer and we're going to sign off the requirements. Sign off the requirements means requirements can be frozen now.
This user stories.
Yeah, user stories. User story means sometimes end user will specify some processes. That processes we can call them as user stories. Like as an end customer, I might need one. See, I said that I need a website, right? But for that website, I do have
Mhm.
some team to which who are going to daily use it. They'll say that, sir, this particular website in this particular page, this menu navigation should be there. So I will say this is user story of my team. I will provide
Okay.
this to a developer and based on that he will prepare it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So these are all major activities can be performed in requirement phase, requirement analysis phase. Any questions, guys? No questions? Okay. Let's move on to next phase. Next phase is design phase. This would be like a heart for the system. Why? Because this phase will defines you, this phase will defines you overall layout of the software, overall layout of the software. Okay, layout means, see, I said that I need a website, right? For that particular website, if I see a proper full end-to-end diagram, end-to-end means what would be the phase of activities from one end to one end. When I see a website, what would be the menu 1, what would be the menu 10, And what would be the navigation, how a user can access these steps, what would be the transactions. By including them, there should be a overall architectural diagrams. This can be prepared by expertise architecture people. Whoever expertise in architecture area, they're going to prepare this diagrams. So generally design phase will give you a outcome like design layout, functional flow diagrams, architectural diagrams, etc, etc. Okay, but the outcome of design document is there would be a functional flow diagram. If you see the diagram, you will understood what has to be developed, what has not required, and how the flow would be, how exactly project working on, what would be the business process. Everything you should be able to understand. So in generally in this particular phase, the actors are like architecture people and who have the well experience in solution expertise. All those people will be joined and they will be involved in this particular phase, and they'll give you an outcome of design layout of the software. Okay, and remaining implementations and testing, we can discuss them in next session, guys.